dum, deedle dum dum, deedle dum dum. There was a turtle by the name of Bert, and the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He'd duck and cover, duck and cover.
That cartoon was produced back in 1951 to help teach students in schools how to prepare for an incoming atomic attack, nuclear attack by the Russians. Those of you that are old enough to remember watching Bert the Turtle practice his duck and cover, like me, you remember doing those drills, those air raid drills or Conrad alerts across the country when during the Cold War. And I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, we would watch those, and then we would rehearse our own drills at school, where we would either hide under our desks or we would go out into the hallways and crouch down with our faces to the wall and cover our heads like this, as if that was going to protect us from a nuclear attack. But you see, that was over 60 years ago. And if you're able to remember any of those, please, if you're able to, please raise your hand. It's my only joke in this, because what I'm talking about here today is not a joke. I want to show you a picture of two young men. The first one is Kendrick Castillo from the STEM school Highlands Ranch in Colorado. And then this is Riley Howell, who was a student at the University of North Carolina in Charlotte. These young men both have died because they chose to protect their classmates and attacked an active shooter in their schools. Something is wrong with this picture. We've now been teaching our students for the last 12 years some form of run, hide, attack, where if there's an active shooter in your school, that you go in that order, where you try to run away, get as far away from the shooter as possible. If you can't do that, to hide in a place and be as quiet as possible and protect yourself and lock doors and cover the windows and things like that. And if you can't do any of those, then to choose to fight, to attack the active shooters. Now what's happened now is we're now seeing that. We now have two martyrs, two young men, children in our eyes, who have given their lives to protect their fellow students. Is this what we want? See, this is the question I've got right now. I am not bringing this up because I have an answer to this situation, but it bothers me so much. It bothers me so much. Now, I'm fortunate right now because I don't have kids or grandchildren who are in school and having to practice active shooter drills like 95% of the public schools in America are doing right now. But I might have grandchildren someday. And if I did have kids, and I know a lot of you do have kids, they are going through these things. What is wrong with this picture when we are now starting to see our children behave as protectors of their friends and giving their own lives? Because that's kind of what's going on now. These school shootings, and I understand these attacks are not just in schools. I understand they're in churches, they're in nightclubs, they're in our workplaces. They're in many, many different areas. And every single one of these is a terrible, tragic situation. For some reason, though, I'm particularly bothered because I feel like we're raising our kids in this now, what's now called the hashtag #generationlockdown, where they have to have this on their minds. Going to school is possibly a dangerous situation. We don't know when or where it's going to happen again. Now, I don't know the answer. I'm asking you, I'd like to know an answer, and I'd like to know if there's something that I can help with this situation. Do you have thoughts about this? What are your thoughts about this? What are your thoughts about protecting our kids in schools, protecting people, and yeah, even the people in workplaces and churches and other areas here in the United States. But in the U.S., we particularly have this situation about school shootings. What can we do? Can we have a dialogue here? Can you share with me your thoughts about what we as adults in the United States can do? Our kids are being harmed. Our kids are being killed. And we have to try to stop this. I don't know what the answer is. Now, I'm asking you to comment with me. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think the solution might be. If you have an idea of where I can go to get information to help, then I want to know what that is. But I want a civil discourse here too. I don't want anybody going on a big rant or rave that's either right wing or left wing. I don't want that. I don't want any crazy arguments going on here. You're not going to be allowed. All right? Civil discourse. But please share with me your thoughts, your concerns in this. And I want to leave you with today's version of Duck and Cover, a public service announcement that has been put together by a organization, not-for-profit organization called March for Our Lives. Watch this and tell me that this doesn't look like a scary, scary, scary situation for all of us.
All right, so good morning. Welcome to today's team building event. Today, we're going to be learning what to do in the event of an active shooter. We're going to bring in a special guest. She's actually an expert on this, and she's going to be leading our team building event. This is Kaylee.
If there was an active shooter, you'd all be dead. When you talk out loud, the shooter can tell where you are and where you're hiding. Sometimes we play the game who can stay quietest the longest, so we all remember. You can try and protect your friends by pushing the tables and chairs against the doors. You also have to put a piece of paper over the door window so they can't see in. And you can't cry. It gives away your position and your hiding spot. And if you're in the bathrooms, you have to stand on the toilet seat and crunch down so they can't see your feet and they can't see your head, so they don't know that you're in there.
That's crazy.
Try to listen for things that could help the police. For example, if you hear a lot of bangs like bang, 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 the shooter might be down the hall. Or if you hear louder ones like bang, 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 he could be right outside your door. If the shooter comes in the room, screaming won't do anything. You have to try and fight back. If you can't escape, we get taught the emergency window escape plan, where you have to break a window, put clothes over the frame, and climb through. Our teacher used to sing a song to make it easy to remember. Lockdown, lockdown, let's all hide. Lock the doors and stay inside. Crouch on down, don't make a sound, and don't cry or you'll be found.